When you're hit with a burglary accusation in Sierra County, your whole world can feel like it's spinning out of control. It's just a sudden maze of questions, right? And no clear answers. Well, in this explainer, we're going to cut right through all that confusion. We'll give you a clear map of what to expect.
So let's say it's happened. You or someone you care about has been arrested. What now? We are going to break down the entire process for you, starting with what that charge actually means, and then covering the first absolutely critical steps you need to take.
Okay, first things first, let's get the legal definition straight. Because under California Penal Code 459, burglary probably isn't what you think it is. And this is the most important part. It all comes down to something called entry plus intent. And right there, that leads to a huge misunderstanding. See, you don't actually have to break in for something to be considered burglary. The law is focused almost entirely on your intent the second you entered. It's why someone can get charged even if literally nothing was stolen. Now, check out how the law splits this into two different categories. First-degree burglary, that involves an inhabited dwelling. We're talking houses, apartments, even a cabin someone's staying in. And that carries much, much more severe penalties, like state prison time. Pretty much everything else, that falls into the second-degree bucket. It's also really important to see the line between burglary and shoplifting. Shoplifting has these very specific rules, It has to be during business hours, in a store that's open, and the stuff has to be worth less than $950. A tiny mistake here could easily turn what seems like shoplifting into a way more serious commercial burglary charge. Okay, so we've covered the what of the law. Now let's talk about the where. Because an arrest in Sierra County, well, it leads to a pretty surprising place. And this is one of those critical pieces of local knowledge that can save you a ton of confusion. And here it is, the key detail. People who get arrested in Sierra County, they are typically taken to the Wayne Brown Correctional Facility, which, get this, is in Nevada County. You can imagine, for a worried family trying to find a loved one or arrange bail, knowing this exact location is the first, most important step. So once they arrive at that facility, a really clear process starts to unfold. It begins with booking. That's where they verify identity, take fingerprints, run a records check. Then a judge reviews the case to set bail. And finally, the whole court process officially kicks off when an arraignment date is put on the calendar. So what about that bail? Well, according to the official Sierra County felony bail schedule, the typical starting point for a residential burglary charge is $50,000. That is just a staggering number for almost anybody to face. Yeah, so when coming up with that much cash just isn't happening, a bail bond becomes the main way people get out of jail. How it works is a licensed agent posts the full $50,000 for you, and in return, you pay them a smaller fee, which you don't get back, but it allows the defendant to be released from custody. And this quote right here, it really gets to the heart of why that matters so much. See, getting out on bail doesn't make the charges just disappear. It's all about creating stability. It's the ability to keep your job, take care of your family, and prepare a real legal defense from home, not from the inside of a jail cell. So, if you find yourself in this situation, here are your immediate actionable steps. First, confirm they are at the Wayne Brown facility. Second, write down absolutely everything you can remember about what happened. Third, contact a defense attorney right away. And fourth, treat every single court date like it is the most important appointment of your life. Now, just as important is what you should not do. And listen up, because every single jail call is recorded, so do not discuss the case over the phone. Under no circumstances should you ever try to contact any alleged victims or witnesses. And finally, remember, burglary is about intent, so never ever assume that just because nothing was stolen, the case is just going to go. Look, at the end of the day, facing a charge like this is a crisis. It's so easy to feel lost in all the confusion and fear. But as we've walked through here, from the specific legal code to the local jail logistics, understanding the process is the first, most powerful step you can take. It replaces that fear with facts, which really leaves us with one final thought. When you're lost in a maze, how powerful is it to finally be handed a map?